Please join me in Gasho. Naman Nobs, Naman Nobs, Naman Nobs, Naman Nobs, Naman Nobs. Mary, we're going to be using the red books. Thank you, Suezon. I'd like to welcome you all to our regular Sunday service. It's kind of a dreary day, isn't it? But welcome, and we'll begin our service with a moment of silent meditation, or mokso, followed by the recitation of the name of the Buddha, or Nembutsu, or Shomyo. Naman Nobs, Naman Nobs, Naman Nobs, Naman Nobs, Naman Nobs. I forgot to welcome those on Zoom, so welcome to those who are joining in by Zoom as well. We'll follow up with the chanting of the Bandhana Tisarana, which in the Red Seitan, you'll find on page 7, I believe it was. Yeah, so for those who are able to rise, please rise, and I'm also going to be bringing it up on the screen. So for those of you who are joining by home, I'll also bring it up on the screen here as well. So we'll start with the chanting of Bandhana Tisarana. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Homage to him, the exalted one, the enlightened one, the supremely awakened one. Buddham saranam gacchami. I go to the Buddha for guidance. Dhamma I go to the Dharma for guidance. Sangam Saranam Gacchami. I go to the Sangha for guidance. And next, we'll be reading together the Golden Chain of Love. You can just remain standing for those here, and it's also on the screen. The Golden Chain is on page 126, I think it was. Yeah, 126. Golden Chain of Love. I am a link in Amida Buddha's golden chain of love that stretches around the world. I must keep my link bright and strong. I will try to be kind and gentle to every living thing and protect all who are weaker than myself. I will try to think pure and beautiful thoughts, to say pure and beautiful words, and to do pure and beautiful deeds, knowing that on what I do now depends not only my happiness or unhappiness, but also that of others. May every link in Amitabha's golden chain of love be bright and strong, and may we all attain perfect peace. Namo Amitabha. Namo Amitabha. Namo Amitabha. Please be seated. Next, we're going to be doing the sutra chanting. We'll be chanting the Jusei Ge, which in the red statement is on page 54. And then we're going to also be reading the English translation of that, which is on page 117. But we'll start off with the chanting of the Jusei Ge in Japanese first. Oops, sorry, I just have to bring it up for those who are at home. Let me just find that. What? Sorry, everybody, for a second there. I thought I had this all set up. There it is. There we go. And just increase the size. No mandaps, no mandaps, no mandaps. No mandaps, no mandaps. So we're going to now read the English translation, which you'll find on page 117 of your Red Safe 10. And we're actually going to do it in a chantable way. Naman Nops, Naman Nops. I have made unrivaled vows and will reach the highest path. sounds throughout the universe. May I not attain Buddhahood. I will practice a noble path, wisely, mindfully, free of greed. Seek to reach a supreme way. Be a guide to one and all. May my power shine great light to illumine and dispel the darkness of the three poisons and save all from suffering. With eyes of wisdom I'll remove the darkness of ignorance. I will close all evil paths, open gates of highest good. When I attain Buddhahood, light will shine throughout all lands, light brighter than sun and moon, outshining all heavenly lights, giving my virtues to all, not forsaking anyone. I will proclaim the Dharma like the roar of a great lion, bowing before all Buddhas, steadfastly gaining virtues, with wisdom fulfilling my vows. I shall be a guide to all, like the wisdom of my teacher. May my wisdom also shine all throughout the universe and illumine one and all. If I shall fulfill these vows, may all lands tremble with joy. From the heavens wondrous flowers rain down upon all the lands. Nam virtue of Amita's vow is shared equally by all, together attaining awakened mind. We are born in the land of peace. Naman Ops, Naman Ops, Naman Ops, Naman Ops. Thank you very much. I'm going to begin by reading a passage from the writings of Shinran Shonin. It comes from one of his, what we call the hymns of the Pure Land Masters, or the poems that he wrote in his latter years. So if I can ask you, please join me in Gassho. Obstructions of karmic evil turns into virtues. It is like the relation of ice and water. The more the ice, the more the water. The more the obstructions, the more the virtues. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. So once again, good morning everyone and welcome to our morning service. How many of you thought chanting is too long? Anybody? No? You're okay? The chanting is too long? No? You're okay? Okay, good. Sometimes we get people thinking, oh, this chanting is so long. Why do we always chant in services? And if you think that way, well, the chanting is a tradition, an oral tradition that we have. Of course, when the Buddha was alive, he would give these discourses, and the disciples would listen. And over the many centuries, it got codified, and that's how we got the chanting. So it's one of the traditions that we have in all Buddhist schools. You'll have some chanting. And if you're really, really skeptical about it, think of it as exercise for your lungs, because it actually is good exercise for your lungs. So that's another benefit of chanting. Okay. But the point is, we have this chanting. And, this morning, this morning I was walking, taking my dog for a walk, and I was thinking to myself, I looked outside and said, it looks pretty miserable out there. I don't know if I want to go for this walk, but the dog has to go, so of course I'm grumbling away as I take the dog for a walk. And I was already thinking of, for today's talk, 2 weeks ago, as many of you know, I was in Hawaii, in Maui, to give sessions. I was a guest speaker for the Ohigan service at the Wailuku Honganji mission on Maui. And, I'm supposed to actually be going back again in August, this time for the Fujinkai, the World's Women's Federation. Every 4 years they have a World Buddhist Women's Convention, and in 2027 it's being hosted by Hawaii. We hosted it last in 2015 in Calgary. I don't think our Canadian Kyodan is large enough anymore to be able to host going down the road, but we last hosted in 2015. And so as part of this, so the convention is held every 4 years. As I said, in 2027, it's going to be held in Hawaii, hosted in Hawaii. But the in-between years, so the 2 years in between, in between, right in the middle, 2 years after the previous one, they hold what they call the representatives meetings. And since Hawaii is the host, the next representatives meeting is scheduled to happen in August in Hawaii. And so we recently had the leadership committee meeting for the Women's Federation of Jodo Shinshu Buddhist Temples of Canada online by Zoom. And I'm right now responsible as the ministerial advisor for the Women's Federation. I've taken on that role. So during this meeting, the discussion came up to this August representatives meeting in Hawaii. And some of us, including myself, vocalized how at this present time with the climate, the political climate of the states, that I really don't feel comfortable in going to the States at this time. And I did mention that I went to Maui earlier, but that was because I had made these commitments prior to the election. So, I had to fulfill those commitments. But I said, with all the things that are going on right now, perhaps, maybe they can do this meeting by Zoom. And so the others, everybody was in agreement with that thought, that during this time, maybe the meeting could be done by Zoom. So I was asked to write an email to the Hawaiian hosts to say, can you hold the meetings by Zoom? Because we feel uncomfortable going, especially since your government seems to be wanting to annex us. And we're not too happy with that. So I wrote that. And then I received first from our Socho, Aoki Socho, and then from the the president of the Women's Buddhist Association of Hawaii, wrote to the leadership committee here saying, please reconsider, please come. And I heard that part of the reason why they wanted us to reconsider was, as hosts, they were feeling really, really insecure at this time. They're afraid that they're not getting enough support from Japan, as well as Canada or U.S., everywhere. As many of you know, our Women's Federation is aging, and that's not unique to Canada. It's throughout globally. So when you have these conventions, it's a risk or a gamble almost by the host. So in order to procure, like when we hosted the convention in Calgary in 2015, they had to basically reserve, in order to get a large enough space to hold such a convention, they have to reserve like a convention center, right? And so in order to book a convention center, you have to book 2, 3, 4 years in advance. And that means there's some fiscal gamble almost, in that you have to put in a deposit, etc., and it's quite a sum that they have. So the Hawaii host said, please come, because we really are feeling quite insecure at this time. And I know exactly how they're feeling, because when Canada hosted in 2015, I was part of that committee as well. And prior to that, it was a constant nervousness. Are we going to have the delegates coming from Japan? Are we going to have delegates coming from US, etc.? So I understand very clearly what they're going through in Hawaii. But, it made me realize that the interconnectedness of things, it's not as easy. Here I sent this letter saying that we may not attend this summer meeting. Basically, monku, if you will, in Japanese, because of the political climate, etc. Not realizing that have repercussions on others as well. And so, as I was thinking about all of that, I was reminded of a article that I had read by Reverend Dr. David Matsumoto. And I did a workshop here, Just Do It workshop a number of years ago now. And I used as part of that, so Reverend Dr. David Matsumoto had led a workshop in the States. This was for the Federation of Dharma School Teachers, and it was called Living a AAA Life. And as part of that, there was an article in which he had talked about monku tare. And he said that in this article, he writes that he was a constant complainer, complaining every day about something. And despite that, he said, in such a life enters the great compassion of Amida Buddha. It is in fact because of the many faults that Amida Buddha has vowed to save such beings as myself. And he had quoted the above verse, the verse that I had read at the beginning. Shinran Shonin refers this as similar to the relationship between ice and water. The more the ice, the greater volume of water is created when the ice melts. Similarly, the greater our faults, the greater working of Amida Buddha. And he explains in his article that I believe Shinran is saying this: I will be a monku tare until the day I die. Yet, through the working of Namo Amida Butsu, for the first time, I become truly aware that I am a monku tare. And I come to see just how shameful of my existence really is. I know that it is not good to monku, so I try to, as hard as I can, to stop doing it. But I cannot help myself. I am therefore I am, therefore I monku. I monku, therefore I am. So monku means to complain, if you don't understand Japanese, right? And he says, and yet, as this deep sense of shame arises, there's also a sense of gratitude that begins to realize how wonderful it is that even as I am, with all my monku, the compassionate depth of life continues to give itself to this monku tare, allowing me to live, eat, breathe, work, love, and be loved, allowing me to monku. So this is what he had written. And of course, as I think about my life, I can't think of a day that I don't complain about something. Whether it's very small or, waking up, looking at the dreary day and saying, when is spring going to come? Right? Every day we have our little complaints that we have. But the Dharma, I think what it does is it shows us our humanity, our reality, and yet at the same time it accepts us. And this is where the compassion of Amida Buddha comes in. It accepts us as we are. It doesn't mean we can't try to get better. It doesn't mean we should try to curb ourselves and try to think more altruistically, but realize also that I am who I am. And as I am embraced in this great compassion of Amida Buddha. And out of this indebtedness, I recite the Nembutsu, Namo Amida Butsu. And I wanted to just close my talk today by reading another passage, a different passage, that I think really sums up this idea of the working of Amida Buddha. Again, this comes from one of Shinran's poems. My eyes being hindered by blind passions, I cannot perceive the light that grasps me. Yet the great compassion without tiring illumines me always. My eyes being hindered by blind passions, I cannot perceive the light that grasps me. Yet the great compassion without tiring illumines me always. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Thank you very much, and we will close the service with the singing of Ondok-san. So for those of you who are here and are able to, please rise, and I will bring it up. It's also on the screen. And I need to bring up the music. Please be seated. This will conclude our regular Sunday morning service. Thank you all for attending, and please join us next Saturday, the 29th, for our Nippon Fair. Keiko's done a lot of work in getting all these different groups involved and interested in coming. And there's going to be activities throughout the day, including some dancers, some singers, some taiko players. And if you want to, at the end of the service, in the lobby of the Wisteria place, they have the omikoshi, which is the little shrine that they're going to be carrying. Now, that's not hosted by our temple. That's part of the Wisteria place, okay? Just to make sure, because the omikoshi is actually a Shinto activity. So that part is being hosted by the Wisteria place over there. But in their lobby, they've got that little shrine displayed for the week. So after the service, if you wish to go over and take a look, please do so. And for those of you who are on Zoom, who are local, please come out on the 29th from 11 till 5, I believe it was. There will be some food vendors, trucks in the parking lot, and activities, and artisans displaying as well as selling stuff in the multi-purpose room. And there are, Keiko said, I think, 11 nonprofit organizations that will have little displays in our lobby area here. Okay, so please come out and join and enjoy. And then, that's next Saturday. And Sunday, of course, is our still one more regular Sunday service in March. And then we get into April, the first weekend being our Shotsuki service. But the second weekend will be our Hanamatsuri weekend. Now this year, we are not having a guest for Hanamatsuri, but immediately following our Hanamatsuri service on the 13th, here in the Hondo, we're going to be having a wedding ceremony. Some of you might remember Ryan Alford. He was a member of ours for several years, maybe about 10 years ago, a little less. He was a professor of law in Victoria, and he would come over by ferry to join us during Sunday services. Anyways, he's ended up in Thunder Bay, where he's a professor out there. And he wanted to have his wedding ceremony here. And he said, can we hold it right after morning service if some of our members who were here wish to observe or witness their wedding ceremony. So we're going to have it's not going to be a big ceremony or anything like that, but a wedding ceremony immediately following Hanamatsuri. And then we have the luncheon over here, I believe, right? The Hanamatsuri luncheon. So, that's going to be the Hanamatsuri weekend. We're not going to have lecture on the Saturday like we normally do with the guests. And I don't know if we might not even have the potluck dinner because we don't have a guest this year. Okay, so, but we'll have the Hanamatsuri service. So thank you and enjoy the rest of your day. I don't think there's any other announcements, is there? No? Okay, so thank you everyone for joining. And again, thank you to those who joined by Zoom as well.